Hey, this is Hammer 357 Mag. Today we're going to do a quick look of the K-Bar Large Heavy Bowie knife. There it is. This is quite the stout knife. I mean, it's large. Okay, we'll get into it in a second. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the specifications of the knife, the price point, the fit, feel, primary and secondary concepts of use, its out-of-box sharpness, and any final thoughts. So let's take a look at the specs on this. Its steel is a 1085 carbon steel. So, and we all know what that means. It's a real hard steel, but any of the surfaces that get exposed, like the blade edge, will rust over time. So the important thing is on this blade is as you use it and this black covering starts to come off, you need to keep it oiled and clean every time after usage. So that's important. Okay, the overall blade length, which would be from the blade here to here, is 9 inches. So that's a long blade. And the thickness of this, let's get up there and see if we can get a look at it, is 1/4 inch. So that puts you right in the same ballpark as the BK2. So that makes it a very thick knife, and that also makes it heavy. The overall length of the knife is 14 1/4 inches. Now look at the weight on this. This thing is a stout 15 ounces. That's only 1 ounce less than the BK2. So you know you have a real heavy product in your hand, and it's good at a few things, and we'll cover that in a minute. By the way, with the sheath, it weighs 1.3 pounds. Okay, the handle on this knife is a Kraton polymer. And again, the Kraton polymer offers many of the same properties of natural rubber. And again, the Kraton polymer adds flexibility, high traction, and sealing abilities. And also, when you move into the Kraton polymer over the rubber, you get increased resistance to heat. It doesn't weather as bad, and it is more resistant to chemicals. So you get the advantages of rubber plus the durability of the Kraton. So it makes for a very good handle. I would also like to point out that the handle is drilled for lanyards. So and with a knife this big, when you're using it, probably lanyard's not a bad idea. Okay, the country of origin on this is Taiwan. The actual blade finish, if you look at the finish, is an epoxy powdered coat. And again, we know that epoxy powder coats, when used heavily over time, will have a tendency to rub off. This is of course, goes without saying, a fixed blade. The grind on this is a full flat grind. So again, that gives it some properties as far as batoning wood, along with the 1/4 inch thickness. It's excellent for doing that. Okay, let's look at the fit, feel, and ergonomics on this. Again, it fits really solid in the hand. I mean, and for my hand, you know, with a Kraton polymer, it's really solid, and it's got these large protrusion out of the handle there, which really keeps your hand into it. It's not going to slide out of it, and it gives you plenty of rear in the back, you know, so if you were to slip some, it would hold into your hand pretty good. And again, you know, if you want to get in close, there's that little, I can't see anyone wanting to get in close with a blade this big. Anyway, as far as the tang goes on these, it's always sometimes it's hard to tell. So what I do is, I think you guys might want to try this. I got a kitchen magnet. You can see how it sticks there. And it is sticking out here. And it sticks there. And it sticks there. But not as well, because you get that crayons. And it even wants to attach there. So you know it's got a good full blade. I mean a good full tang. So that's important. Because this is the kind of knife you want to do a lot of abuse on. Okay, the actual tip or type of knife, it's a clip blade. You can see it comes down and comes back up slightly, so that makes it a clip blade. It's got a nice full belly on it too. Let's see. There's a sheath that comes with it. It's a combination of leather on one side and it's Cordura on the other side. So it's a combination leather and synthetic. And it's a pretty good sheath. I mean, it's not, again, it's not going to be a top of the line one, but for this knife it seems to do the job. It comes out really well, and it does have an attachment to your belt. Again, that seems a little flimsy to me, but you know, you spend a lot of money for this knife, and it's probably not going to be the best sheath. And it also has a loop at the bottom, so you can run some paracord around this into your legs so you can tie it down. Now, I've seen a lot of people that have used this knife seem to use this as more of a attached to your backpack knife. They feel it's too heavy to carry on your belt. Again, I mean, looking at this, again, with a full flat grind, a 1/4 inch in thickness, and the length of this is really primarily the concept of use. This is definitely for wood processing. It's compared favorably with the Becker BK2, and I think you could compare it favorably with some of the Ontario rats that are a 1/4 inch, that are about 6 or 7 inches long. This would work just as well, and you'll see later the price point is a little more reasonable. As far as a secondary concept of use, it definitely would not be good for a tactical or combat knife. It's, you know, it's got the length, but it's just too heavy at a pound, and your ability to rapidly slash and cut with this, you know, it's going to be somewhat challenged. And plus, I don't think it's ever going to be in a point where you can get to it rapidly. So again, the secondary concept of the use of this, if there really is one, would be hunting or survival. Again, hunting and survival would be a good use for this as a secondary concept. So if you wanted one blade that could do wood processing, then do hunting, I think you could get up here, but it, you know, one thing is with this length of the blade, it's going to be tough skinning. So again, it's not really a primary use. But it could be used for, you know, some type of bushcrafting. But again, I think that'd be limited. But again, primary concept of this is really going to be wood processing, and if you, a real stretch is going to be hunting and survival. Anyway, I checked the price point on this. It's a very reasonable $52 on eBay right now. That includes shipping. Now let's see what the sharpness is out of the box. That is, I would call that very sharp. Let's see if we can get a little, it's a big knife, but you can see I can get a nice little curl off that. That's impressive again. So K-bars come out of the box really nice. Okay, anyway, this is a, I would call this a high quality mid-price knife. Again, it's not, and if you look at the other knives you compare with this, it's borderline a budget knife, but it's, anyway, it's made out of really good steel. That's a 1085 comes out of the box really sharp. Would I buy this again? Absolutely. I think, again, for its price, there's not going to be many knives with this length and what this can do that can compare with it. Anyway, I'd like to thank you for your time. Have a great day, and remember, long live rock and roll and the American dream.